Hi, everyone. My name is Fahad. Thanks for checking out this interview. And today I have a very special guest, Ivan Shema. Ivan is a founder of 1,000 Hills Product, a company that sources coffee and tea from Rwanda and exports it to Europe. We'll be talking about more about his company, how he founded it, the lessons he has learned so far, and a lot of other good stuff. So without further ado, let's welcome Ivan. Ivan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with you telling us about 1,000 Hills products. Like what is it? Like what do you do?
Well, 1,000 Hills Products is a company that deals with agri products, Rwandan grown agri products. So it operates. We actually have two companies. So it's 1,000 Hills Products Rwanda and 1,000 Hills Products Poland. The both work like sister companies, and we basically source the coffee and tea, as you just said, from Rwanda. So 1,000 Hills Products sources the coffee. 1,000 Hills Products Rwanda sources the coffee from Rwanda and exports it to 1,000 Hills Products Poland. So 1,000 Hills Products Poland receives the coffee and stores it in the warehouse. Of course, the tea as well.
Yeah.
And we do the value addition. We do the value addition in Poland. So that means the packaging, the roasting for the coffee and packaging, and the packaging for tea. So with regards to coffee, we do the roasting, and we also sell the raw material, which is the green beans.
Yeah.
So we do both. And with regards to the tea, we transform the tea because we actually export it in bulk bags.
Yeah.
So we transport them in bulk bags and actually have to separate them. The tea that is going to be packaged in the tea bags and the tea that is going to be packaged in the loose cans. This is what we do. Basically, we do add value of the products that have already been exported to Poland, and then we ship them across Europe.
Your factory is actually based in Poland, so you send the raw coffee beans unroasted, and then they get roasted in Poland and packaged and basically shipped across Europe.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah. So I guess let's step back and learn about how you came up with the idea of 1,000 Hills products. So you went to school in Poland for computer science.
Yeah.
And finished your bachelor's in computer science and decided to do business for your master's. So how did you decide to pursue a degree in business?
Actually, this is what has happened exactly. I left for studies to Poland in 2012. That was around October, and of course I already had my studies to be joined in October. Then by the end of these computer studies, we actually had to specialize in one kind of specialization, So there were many options. There were options in software, development and all this kind of stuff. But there was also another option in electronic business, which is e-business or e-commerce.
Yeah.
So this is actually what I specialized in my third year. So it was a bit of a mixture between business and computer science, how to create your own online sales and how to all this kind of stuff was actually what I specialized in my bachelor, even though it was under computer sciences.
Yeah.
So the first time that I actually went to Poland, I think the first year, actually I already had this kind of entrepreneurial spirit even back in my secondary school, where I used to do some different sorts of small businesses at school, like selling computer, softwares, some kind of programs, some movies, some CDs, such kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and so I don't think the idea of actually doing business was the first time when I was in Poland. I think I had it already kind of in an immature way when I was still studying in my high school.
Yeah.
So when I went to Poland, I really hoped that I could do something between the two countries, not only about studying, but this was something that was actually in me when I actually came to Poland. I was like, of course, yes, studies come first because that's actually what I have to do because that was my main purpose of actually living the country.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what, I need to do something as well between the two countries.
Yeah.
So I decided to find something that can be exported between the countries. So the first thing that came in my mind was tea, because being honest, it was very hard to find some quality tea by that time if you compare to the tea that we actually drink in Rwanda. So I was like, maybe I can ship some tea and just try to sell them around
Yeah.
the stores and stuff. So
Yeah.
this is when the idea came. It was the first year of my bachelor. So
Oh wow. Yeah.
I started doing the analysis. Yeah. I started doing my analysis right after that. I was like, okay, I got some free time. Let me, check out in the, in the city and see how actually this tea is imported. Because of course, Poland does not grow its own tea. Tea is a tropical kind of, plantation.
Yeah.
So Poland and Europe and USA and tea is supposed to be just in the tropics, grown in the tropics.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest advantage. So
Yeah.
if they were growing tea, then it wouldn't make sense to actually bring tea to Poland.
Yeah.
So so I started doing the analysis right after, and of course combining with the studies, combining with trying to adapt to the new place because
Yeah.
Poland is not a very kind of a popular country, mainstream country to actually go study like a Rwandan student. So I had a
Yeah.
lot of things to catch up, different language, cold weather, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in the city when I went for my studies. I was in a city called Krakow, and there was only one Rwandan there by that time in the whole city.
Yeah.
So it was quite challenging. It was quite challenging. I had to, adapt to many things. Start learning how to, speak the language and understand the culture and understand many things. Adapt to the environment, to the weather, to the climate. So this was the third thing. So it was about analyzing the business, studying, and of course adapting to the place.
Yeah.
And so this needed some time. The three things needed some time to actually, align together and have one spectrum of thinking of working.
Yeah.
So by the end of the second year, I had to come back to Rwanda for my summer holidays. I decided to go to have some kind of internship in kind of tea or coffee, company or stuff. So when I was in Rwanda, I decided to do my internships at NAEB, which is
Yeah.
the National Agriculture Export Board of Rwanda. So I had my 2 months training there. So this is when I actually, started to get even more deeper understanding of tea and trade and related. So I went. I actually was given a training in the marketing department of NAEB.
Yeah.
So by this, I had a chance to actually understand not only about tea but as well as coffee, because tea was the first thing in my mind by then.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be tea. Actually, I wanted to name the company 1000 Hills Tea, but
Yeah.
after the trainings, it actually changed, and I had a chance to also work on the coffee sector. And I was like, you know what, maybe tea would be limited, so let me just call the company 1000 Hills Products.
Yeah. Smart.
So that anything that is gonna, thank you so much, anything that is gonna fall into the, the agribusiness will be, worked on and exported.
Yeah.
And I realized by then, I realized that it's much easier to actually start with coffee than tea.
Yeah.
During my trainings in IF, so I was like, maybe, yeah, maybe let's start with the coffee, and so we started with as simple as this. By then, I went back to Poland. I opened up the company in Poland.
Yeah.
And I also opened up the company in Rwanda before I left.
Yeah.
So we started basically around 2015. That was the first export. I was almost done with my bachelor studies by then.
Yeah.
So I remember was writing my bachelor's thesis, and we had the first export of one bag by plane.
One bag. Yeah.
one bag, bro. It was crazy. So
Yeah.
so
Gotta start somewhere. You
it
start small,
was a
right?
bit, yeah, funny, but we had exported one bag, and I remember we were lucky to sell this bag to one of the most how would I say, by that time was the biggest cafe in the capital city of Poland.
Yeah.
And they like the coffee, they like the coffee, and they put it on their websites. And after this, all the
Yeah.
other cafes were already asking, how can we get this
Yeah.
coffee and stuff like this, and so we started from this, and we were lucky to have this kind of audience, and
Yeah.
so
Great.
we grew up from there, and now we're
Awesome.
working on containers, so
Yeah. Thank you so much for giving us
yeah,
that story and how you started. Very interesting. So you were
yeah.
pursuing your studies,
Thank you,
and
thank you.
you're like, okay, I need to do something. I need to create a relationship between Rwanda and Poland, and try to see what they don't have, what we have, and then bring it here.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that's great. So you did your research. You noticed they don't have tea. They don't grow tea, and Rwanda has tea, really good tea. And when you went back home, you basically took a class, workshop, and learned about tea, and then found out about coffee, and then basically set up the company and started exporting those two products. Actually, you started with coffee, so very interesting story. And you started with one bag, so you didn't have to have thousands and thousands of dollars to start your company, right?
yeah, yeah.
So did you?
Exactly,
How did you
exactly.
find people who need the coffee in Poland? So you set up the company, and there's this product in Rwanda, and now you have to find customers. So how can you tell us how you went about finding your customers um, to start with?
So we're yeah. Thank you so much. So what actually happened with this first small shipment, is that during this time when I actually opened up the company in Poland, I was still also working on the marketing part of it. So I had already visited many cafes, many roasting plants, small and medium-sized roasting plants that were dealing with the high-quality coffees, because it's not everyone that deals with the high-quality coffees.
Yeah,
Some companies just decide to work on the commercial, commodity kind of style, which is
yeah,
not the best quality, but it's still coffee anyway. But so I was targeting the companies that actually would accept this kind of really high quality coffee.
yeah,
So and but by that time it didn't really make sense for me to join the commodity market, because the commodity market needs a lot of investments and big volumes of containers to be shipped and at
yeah,
a lower price. So you gain on smaller. So I was like, if I need to build, we were actually, I made the analysis and targeted the places that were into the high quality coffee.
hmm,
So I actually asked for samples to be sent to me by DHL from Rwanda in different portions, very small portions. Like I remember I had a package of like, I don't know, 3 kgs, but it was very much separated in like 100 grams of coffee. So I went on distributing them to these, people that were actually interested in roasting and maybe buying.
Yeah.
So I pushed as much samples as I could. Most of like 95% of the cafes like the coffee. They're like, oh, you have a really nice coffee, but they couldn't proceed in the buying stage. Like, hey, can we now buy some volume from your coffee and stuff like this? But they couldn't. I think they basically could see that I'm a kind of startup and maybe student that probably doesn't have the capital to raise a whole container and bring it to Poland.
Yeah.
So they were very much quite hesitant of a black student that is trying to do business and all this kind of stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, they were like, it's not his home country. He's still young. He's studying. He probably doesn't have capital. So how can we really rely on any kind of business with this young person? So I was so lucky to have one cafe that kind of believed in me in a way that they were like, hey, maybe if you bring just one bag of this, we could pay you on arrival. We could pay you after trying.
So when you say one bag, like how heavy is that? But like how many kilograms would you say?
One bag is actually 60 kgs.
Oh, 60 kgs. Okay.
Yeah. So it's so it had to be shipped by plane, of course, because you cannot put it in any there is no any other way to actually ship this kind of small volume. So I had to ship the coffee to Poland, and I was lucky during the trainings that I actually worked with some farm in Rwanda. So I asked this farm to actually prepare some nice quality coffee and just help me not to have any mistake with the quality at least.
Yeah.
And I do remember this farm was like, hey, you know what? You've been working with us for the past months and stuff. We're gonna give you this bag on a loan basis. You won't have to pay anything. You pay once they appreciate the quality.
Nice.
So yeah, it was some kind of really big support, for me, and it actually worked well. It went to Poland, they roasted, they liked it, and they put it on their websites, and surprisingly, all the other cafes that have already been taking my samples now were interested to actually start buying because they can see that one of their competitors is actually publishing the coffee that was bought from my company.
Yeah.
We started like this. We started pushing. And things went well from that.
Okay.
From that moment, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So you talk to these businesses, you face all those challenges that most people face when they're starting out. You don't have any track record. You're young. They don't know how to trust you. So you decide to import samples, and then they test the samples. They like the samples. So can you walk us through like that journey? Of going to Rwanda, talking to farmers, and how did you sort out how you were going to work together?
Thank you very much, Pat. So regarding the farm that I started working with was the actual farm that I was working with when I was in my trainings. So remember these trainings that I had in Nayeb? I used to go out to the farms. I used to go out to the farms and actually have this kind of practical production experience because the practical production experience, you actually get it only at the farms, at the washing stations.
Yeah.
So this farm that I frequently visited was called Muhondo or Coffee Station. This is where I actually had my first trainings, and actually this is where I actually spent most of my time with regards to the farms. So when I got the order, I came back to them and like, hey, someone like to samples. They are requesting for one bag, which was funny for them because they only export in containers.
Yeah.
So, but I guess they like the courage. They like the courage in the sense that I was there in the trainings in summer, and now I'm coming back with not a big order, but some order. At least someone liked their coffee, and it was a new market for them. The coffee was the first time they had this coffee in Poland. So they were like, hey, we'll give you this coffee. We're going to try to make the best quality for you. We give you this coffee, and you can pay once they like the coffee. It was kind of a challenging, deal with them because they're a station that puts a lot of effort in the quality. So I didn't want something to go wrong with their coffee from their station to the destination anyway. So I was like, at least they're going to make their part well, but I'm going to try to make the best in the logistics and supplying the coffee to have it in the best quality. So thank God, everything went well. The logistics went well. We used the plane. I remember we shipped it to Brussels. Then from Brussels, it was by truck to Poland. And they got it in like 2 days. Which was quite quick. So this cafe roasted the coffee and they liked it very much. That it had to be one of the coffees of the month by that time. It was in December. Yeah, so when they posted on the website, all the other cafes that actually took the samples from us, that liked the samples but didn't really have this, plan to buy from me, started asking, where did you get the coffee? Where did you get the coffee? So the cafe gave them the contacts to us. And then, we were prepared for the next season because it was already too late. It was already in December. So we made orders for the next season. And the next season, we shipped something like half a container. Which was very big, for us at the time. So, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. So the logistics, you touched on that a little bit. So a lot of people that I've talked to, they say, one of the challenges about doing business in Africa, like export business, is logistics. Like, how do you navigate shipping like huge amounts? I mean, there's someone that I've interviewed that started like a e-commerce company in Rwanda that helps local sellers to sell their products abroad on his platform. But then, they run into that issue of shipping where it's super expensive, right? Did you create any like deals between like these shipping companies and your company to kind of lower the cost of shipping? Any logistics companies?
Yeah, well, this is a bit different because I think it's more expensive if you're dealing in very small amounts. That you have to ship by plane. You have to ship by plane by this kind of other delivery services like DHL, like UPS, like FedEx. I think this is really expensive. This is really expensive because they use the plane to actually deliver these small quantities. But we try to collect a huge amount of volume and ship it at once. So we use the containers. So I don't think it's really that much. Rwanda is a landlocked country. There's some expenses that we have by default anywhere, and we cannot change much. Because we actually ship we ship from Kigali to Tanzania. That's the port in Dar es Salaam. Then from Dar es Salaam we ship the coffee to Hamburg. That's the closest port, much frequently used port in close to Poland. That's in Germany. Then from Germany we have to ship it through Poland. It just takes like 8 hours or 9 hours, by truck. So the whole cost of this runs around, let's say $5,000 to have it in Poland. So that's not really that much when compared to the amount of goods that you're actually shipping. Because one container, the 20-feet container, has almost 20 tons of coffee. So 20 tons of coffee for 5,000, it's not really bad.
So I know like there are a lot of people who work in the coffee industry in Rwanda, like a lot of farmers, the cooperatives, associations, all those people. Basically, when you create something like this, those people get jobs, right? So you're basically promoting, you're creating jobs in Rwanda. Like, do you have a way of tracking that and measuring like the impact your company is having on the communities, or like how many people that are being employed as a result of what you're doing?
That's a very beautiful question. The thing is, the beauty about agribusiness is that you get to impact a big number of people.
Yeah.
And this is why, because if you need to raise a full container of coffee,
Yeah.
it's not one household that can grow this kind of coffee.
Yeah.
You know, so a full container of coffee needs a community kind of production.
Yeah.
So these are the producers. These are the producers, but indirectly they're also your employees. You know.
Yeah.
So you don't have many employees in the company, but you are actually indirectly employing people, because if you're buying the product, you're actually paying them for their production. So they're the producers for sure, but they're also working for a company because they actually have to produce, these products. And that's the beauty of agribusiness, because you cannot grow coffee in your company kind of factory style, because it's not a production that you can manufacture in your company. It's the production that you actually have to bring to your company already kind of processed, semi-processed, or maybe almost processed. So we rely heavily on the farmers, but of course they also rely heavily on us, because we are the ones that actually buy their production.
Yeah.
So at the moment we work with around each year, each season we work with around maybe 5 cooperatives.
Yeah.
And that's a huge number, big number of people. So let's say it's something more than 500, at least 1,000 people.
Yeah. Wow.
So so that's quite a big number, you know. Well, of course, we don't buy the whole produce.
Yeah.
We don't buy the whole produce, but we buy some parts of their production.
Yeah.
Which of course, it's not that much, because what we're talking about, because we ship around 3 containers per season. So that's something around 60 tons.
Yeah.
So it's not really that big of a deal well, it is. It would be a big of a deal if you're buying only from one station, because one station has the capacity to make 4, 6, 5, 3. But we try to get different qualities from different places, so it's not so much if you actually have a combined production, because they can deal with maybe 80 containers. So it's a small fraction, but we get to impact some quite number of people.
Awesome.
Positively, yes. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much for creating those jobs. We really need more people coming in and creating jobs. So what advice would you give to people who are who may be going to school abroad like you were, and they see and they want to do something to import some products from Rwanda, or they want to do some business in Rwanda, or bring something that doesn't exist where they are? What advice would you give them? How would they go about doing research and increase the odds of succeeding?
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, the thing is, I would say the most important thing with regards to actually starting a business, or let's say entrepreneurship in general, is to first understand it's actually what you want to do, because this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part. The hardest part is to understand that do you really want to be an entrepreneur? Are you an entrepreneur? First of all, because I do believe that entrepreneurship is more of a natural thing than something that you can learn. You actually don't need to learn. Being an entrepreneur, you don't need to actually go to college for that. You can start. You can be an entrepreneur by the age of 12 years. By 13 years old, you can be. So that's one thing. So that's entrepreneurship is something that you need to be having within you.
Yeah.
Business is something that you can learn. And business is something that anyone can do once you have the skills for it. But so with regards to entrepreneurship, I do believe any entrepreneur should find his way out, because it's something that is naturally in them, they're going to find their way out anyway. They're going to find their way out, and with the idea, with the funding, with the partners, with the product, with the ideas. This is something that I do believe that they're going to do naturally. But when it comes to business, that's where the advices are. With business, you can learn, you can actually do business without even having past experience about business. You can start and do analysis and understand the business habits. The most important thing is to spend as much time on research of what you want to do. This is going to minimize the losses, the backfiring, the negativity after starting.
Yeah.
So someone can have his analysis done in one day. The other one can have his analysis done in 3 years, depending on the environment, depending on different circumstances. So there's no time frame of having your analysis correct. So once you do your analysis correctly, this involves everything. This involves the products, the services that you want to deliver, that you want to give in the community, and then it goes into who's going to buy it, how is he or she going to receive the product or the service, and how are you going to find the so analysis should combine the whole kind of business project development theoretically.
Yeah.
And then the practical part starts after satisfactory analysis of the project.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe a very well analyzed project can have funds from any place. Can have funds that, like what we're talking earlier, from the bank, from the friends, from the private people, online fund, so you can have funds if your analysis is correct, if your analysis is well, comprehensively done in a sense. So and then once you start the practical part, make sure you do your very best. Make sure you don't lose the energy that you started with. Some people have the first, kind of profits, and they start relaxing, they start taking it easy, they start, So business is a kind of business. It actually needs to be flexible, and you actually need to always update what you're doing, the services that you're giving, the products that you're giving. So it's something you cannot say that you have one line and it's done and you have to keep it up in this kind of spectrum. No, you have to keep on updating. Renewing, renovating, being more creative, and this is the only thing that makes a business stand out and survive. Actually, not only standing out but survive. Because you need to have renovation as much as possible to actually survive in the business sector. So I do believe once you have the right analysis, you have the right partners, you have the right luck, you have the right business, and everything starts exactly knowing what you want to do and planning about it and working on it.
Great, thank you so much for that advice. So you do have partners, right? You're not doing this alone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you talk about the importance of partnerships? Like for people, some people might think, hey, if I want to do business, I need to quit my job, or I need to finish school, and then I need to have like 12 hours a day to do it. Can you tell us like why it's important to have partners help you and not just going it by yourself, just like having everything pretty much done by yourself?
Thank you so much. So the thing is, actually starting from the way I actually got my partner, because I have one partner in Poland at the moment. Well, we're talking about a partner, not an employee, right? So we're talking about someone that shares some percentage in your company. So the first time that I actually met my partner, I remember, was in Warsaw, Rwanda Business Forum, Polish Rwanda Business Forum that happened in 2015. And I was invited. I was invited by the embassy of German, because Poland and German share the same embassy in Berlin.
Yeah.
So I was invited by the embassy to come and give a small presentation about my company and what I want to do, how I want to do it. So I was just informed, giving the presentation, and after the presentation, later on this kind of coffee break, my partner actually came in and was like, "Hey, I like the presentation. I think you have a very interesting idea. Why don't we see what we can do?"
Yeah.
So it started from then, and then we actually worked together for some time before we actually got the shares in the company and actually was listed in the company. So it was nice because most partners just want to jump into the company and start getting the shares without even picking up the interest. But he took his time to understand the business and was with me in the struggle. And then later on, we had to open up the limited liability company in Poland, and then we started to work together.
Yeah.
A partner is very important. I don't think I would have done much without him. So I do believe a partner is so important because, for example, just taking a very small example, I'm currently in Rwanda, and he is in Poland running the other side of the business. So I don't see how I would be running, both companies at the same time in Rwanda and Poland, and when I need to be in one place. That would be crazy, So it will not be possible in a practical point of view. So partner is so important that he's going to be doing something that you cannot do by yourself, or he's going to minimize the workload of the whole company that was supposed to be just focused on you. So I think a partner is the most vital element of a successful business. And it's just not about any kind of partner. It should be a partner that is reliable and capable.
Yeah.
So someone can be reliable but not capable. Someone can be capable but not reliable. He needs to have these two things.
Yeah.
You need someone that you can trust. You can send the products. You can send the services. He can work on them. With full trust and capability, because these are really two most important attributes of the right partner. So it's reliability and capability as well.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have the right partner, and sometimes I tell my friends that one of the things that you have to pray for when setting up your business is to have the right partner.
Yeah.
And it's really important. It's really important. But I do believe once you have a really good idea and once serious about what you're doing, I do believe that the right partner should find you at some point in time.
Yeah. Absolutely. You have to start.
Yeah, the right partner. Yeah, you simply have to start. And the right idea and the right energy that you have in actually starting up a business and actually wanting to do it. The bigger the energy, the more contagious you are to the right partner. So the right partner should come, in some way. So I do believe it's done.
Great.
So
great. Thank you. Yeah. So what was the most challenging part about like starting your business and running it? Like, what would you say was like the most challenging part of all the problems that you have to solve?
Well, it has been all about challenges, bro. It's been all about challenges, but I would divide the challenges in three, or maybe let's say two sides. One was to start the business as a student that doesn't have enough funds, enough capital to actually start the business. That's one thing for sure. And the second thing was to actually run the business while studying at the same time, because I had full-time studies. These were not online studies. These were not part-time studies. These were full-time studies, because I was on a government scholarship anyway.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to lose that scholarship to just run into a business that just started.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, you know what? It's gonna be a crazy time, day and night kind of hustle. but I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try to make the two things run at the same time, which was really crazy, bro. It was really crazy because I had to attend to class and I had to do the business. I had to attend to the clients that need the products, and I had to visit some clients like in a different city. So I had to manage everything in my schedule, in my timetable, and fix some different things in different places.
Yeah.
And that's when the right partner comes in, because the partner helps you when you're not there. I could be like, hey, I have an exam, so can you please fix this on my side? And he could run and meet the clients, and
Yeah.
so it was more of a combined, and I had a very supportive school because the practical business started when I was joining my masters, because I actually studied international business management in my masters. So the university, which is the probably one of the actually it is the best business school in Poland, and one of the best in Central Europe. The kind of the dean at the school actually kind of supported my idea of doing a business while studying international business, because this was actually the practical part of what I was studying in the theory. So he was like, hey, if you need any kind of help, if you need to apply to your country to actually fix some stuff on the ground, you can always go and you can do the exams later.
Yeah.
So, they were kind of supportive. They had a beautiful group of colleagues and classmates that, could help me, do my presentations later in the day and maybe submit them later,
Yeah.
So, but I do believe I do believe this was just because they could see that I'm really pushing, and this is what I was saying. The energy, the bigger the energy you have in doing some business, it's very contagious to anyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be someone in your family. It can be anyone, the dean, the classmates, the right partners.
Yeah.
And this is something that you cannot write. Someone needs to feel that you really want to do something, and they can be supportive.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's something that you have inside you. So and that's why it's really necessary to do something that you really love, because something that you love that's the only thing that actually can bring the energy that is contagious to others to help you.
Yeah.
So it was quite challenging, though I had this kind of support from different friends. But it was quite challenging to make it, because I had the masters in 2 years. In Poland, you have bachelor studies in 3 years, and then you have masters 2 years, so it's combined 5 years.
Yeah.
So it was challenging to meet all these kind of expectations, and you make it on time.
Yeah.
You would then sometimes have to go to Rwanda to check these bigger volumes of shipments, and but it worked well, and I think it's something that gave me a beautiful experience, and it feels like I can do anything, because this was the hardest situation. Now it's more relaxed. I can actually take in more businesses and run more businesses, because I have the experience of this being more patient and pushing different things at the same time. So it's, at the end of the day, if you actually pass through this successfully, it gives you this kind of experience that is priceless. That you can use in the rest of your lifetime project and stuff.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, you really took a lot of bold moves, and you had to overcome a lot of challenges. And congratulations for what you have achieved so far. I'm glad that your business is going well, and you're also now doing it full time. So you have more chances of scaling and having a greater impact that you want to have. So all these things happened, and then you came back home, and then you're basically trying to scale your business and get more clients, and then COVID-19 happened. So how did it impact your business and your clients?
Yeah, thank you. Well, regarding the COVID-19 case, I think this is a situation that actually impacted everyone anywhere in the world at the same time, actually. It almost happened at the same time. It was more like a simultaneous kind
Yeah.
of. And this is the worst. This is the worst that could happen, because if something happens at the same time, almost in different places,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's really crazy to manage. So we
Yeah.
saw many cafes, restaurants shutting down, and these were also our primary targets, well, clients. You know, so
Yeah.
if a cafe is gonna shut down, so you're not gonna write an email and say, "Hey, do you still want to buy a coffee?" So, you know, because it makes sense that
They're
it
not
makes sense
open.
that of course, yeah, they're not
Yeah.
open and they won't buy a coffee because
Yeah.
they have no one to serve this. So
Yeah.
it was kind of scary, and the future was not very clear of what's going to happen next, if it's going to stay closed for all this time, and all these kind of thoughts and issues and things. So, well, that's one side. Yeah, putting you into a state of not knowing what's going to happen next,
Yeah.
and it was really quite a big mess in this kind of side. But
Yeah.
we also had issues. We also had issues with regards to shipments, because
Yeah.
flights were cancelled, borders were closed. Well, you could ship something on land by containers, yes, and also the cargo was actually working, but it was working on a very, very, very slow pace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it means if someone wanted to order his coffee, if it was supposed to take 1 month, it would take 2 months.
Yeah.
So so explaining to your client that it's gonna take 2 months to actually deliver, it's also was a big case. But the most important thing, like I said, it happened at the same time
Yeah.
in all places. So with regards to the effects after that, the logistics issues and related, any client could understand that we're in a situation of the COVID-19, and he should understand that it's going to take much longer time to have his products delivered.
Yeah.
And he would understand, to have the cost of the product a bit increased, because now people are working in small number of groups, and the farmers, so what was working in kind of full scale during the COVID-19 was more half scale, or maybe
Yeah.
even less than that. So this impacted the logistics time, the cost of the product, and all related. So the most interesting thing is that the food sector, which actually we are working in, was
Yeah.
not that much impacted, because
Yeah.
that's the beauty of the food sector. It's just simple, because people still need to eat
Yeah.
anywhere,
Absolutely.
anywhere, anytime. Locked or not locked, you still need to drink your coffee sometime at home.
Yeah.
So so we got a very small kind of minimized sales with the cafes, because the cafes are the ones that actually were closed. But individual people were still buying online, from the cafes that we actually supply. So it was kind of reduced sales, but it was not completely shut down.
Yeah.
So it was not such a big of a deal in the sense of the sales, and luckily it didn't spread across the whole season of the coffee, because they started opening up the cafes when the season was already starting. So now we have people that have already ordered the coffees, and now are ready to have the coffees for after this season to be shipped to them. So it
Yeah.
was intensive but quick again. It was intensive. It was kind of intensive kind of time, but also not that much of a long period of lockdown, and
Yeah.
luckily we were in the food sector. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. And now things are picking up, and hopefully, now that things are going back to normal, your business is gonna pick up again. And and the sky will be the limit for you. Okay. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, how can people find your products? Like if people wanted to order coffee, try your or tea, how can they find your products?
Yeah, we actually made it very easy because we have our e-shop working well. You can just simply log into our website. So it's 1000 Hills in numbers, 1000hillsproducts.com, and you can go to our e-shop and you can just simply order the coffees, and they can be delivered to you, anytime. And,
do you deliver
then you
worldwide?
Yeah. With well, normally we have it by default in all the European Union.
Oh, okay.
But if someone is actually ordering from outside the EU, you can still order. We just need to we don't have it already by default in the selection box.
Yeah.
But if you come to the website and actually leave us a note, you can have it shipped to you anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Great. So I'm in the US, so can I order and then they'll ship it to me?
Yes, definitely, yes. Okay. It's just going to take a little bit of some time because, for example, once you actually order, when you're in France or maybe Italy or Spain from Poland, it's going to take like 3 days, and someone will be knocking at your door with the coffee. So just 3 days, 4 days. But from in the States, I think it's going to take like 6 days. Yeah. 6 to 7 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is not so bad because you can still wait for a nice package of coffee. Anyway, for 6 days.
You have a really nice packaging, by the way. I'm looking at it right now. I'll order some for myself. I'm a coffee drinker.
Thank you very much, bro.
Yeah. Great. So how can people connect with you? Like if people want to maybe partner with you or people want to reach out to you, pick your brain a little bit, how can they connect? Where is the best place that you hang out at on social media?
Well, I do have my email, and I do use WhatsApp a lot, actually. So I think the most preferable way of reaching out to me would be my WhatsApp number. Okay. So maybe I don't know how to give it out here, but it's much easier. Or my email as well. You can also text me. You can send an email to my to my email, and it should be fine.
Okay, yeah, I'll link to your website. There's a form there that people can fill out and reach out. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ivan. It was a pleasure chatting with you, hearing your story. I wish you best of luck.
Thank you very much, brother. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you as a old friend coming back to me with a beautiful interview like this one.
Yeah, I had to make it happen.
After all these years, it's beautiful. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for support.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you, and what you're building, jobs you're creating, it's gonna have a great impact on the community, and also you're gonna be inspiring a lot of people with your story.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be in touch. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.